we will revise fractions. Okay, I will give you a hint so that you can remember what is a fraction. Okay, I said that fraction is apart from a whole, and always remember this example: a pizza. When you have a pizza, you can't eat the whole pizza by your own, so you can take a slice from the pizza. This slice is called fraction. Why I call it fraction? Because it is apart from a whole. The whole pizza, I call it a whole, and the slice from the pizza is called fraction. Okay, but look at the screen now, please. Look at the screen, please. Okay, what do you see? You see a square divided into two equal parts. So the square is the whole, and it is divided into two equal parts. So I colored one part out of two parts. The colored part is called fraction. The colored part is called fraction. I will write fraction. Fraction. I'm sure you know this word. Okay. So this is called the fraction. The colored part is called the fraction because it is apart from a whole. Okay. But what fraction exactly? So in unit 6 we learned how to recognize fractions. So I see how many equal parts here? I see two equal parts, and one of them is colored. So I can write these sentences: 1 out of 2. Okay, but we are in math session. Okay, we should use the numbers. How can I express a fraction using numbers? Okay, so I said that this is 1 out of 2. So I will write like this. I will write a line, and we call it a fraction line. How many equal parts do you see? I see two equal parts. Okay, how many parts is colored? One part is colored. So this is the fraction that represent the colored part. Okay, who can read? Who can tell me how can I read this fraction? Sundus, do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah, can you read this fraction?
1 over 2.
1 over 2.
2 over
1 over 2. Any other way? Okay, I write on the board 1 out of 2. This is another way. Okay, but there is another name. Who can tell me? Carlos, do you know how can you read this fraction?
1 out of 2.
Okay, great. What else?
1 divide 2.
1 over 2. I say 1 over 2. Okay, but please, all of you, pay attention. I can read it in other way. If you remember, I can read it like this: 1 half. 1 half. Okay, look at the screen. I see a rectangle divided into 3 equal parts. I see a rectangle divided into 3 equal parts. Okay, so I am asking about this part. What fraction it represent? What fraction it represent? Okay, I can ask. Okay, I think there is a problem here. So I will solve it my own now. So how many? I said that first I will make a fraction line. Now, how many equal parts do you see? I see 3 equal parts. Okay, how many parts is colored here? 1. So I can read it like this: 1 over 3, 1 out of 3, or I will write it now. I can Read it like this: 1/3. 1/3. Layla, do you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, Layla, can you tell me what fraction do you see?
8 out of 2.
What?
2 out of 8. 2
Again?
out of 8.
2 out of 8. That's great. Layla, 1 point. Okay. Now, I make a fraction line. How many equal parts do you see? I see 8 equal parts. Okay. How many parts is colored? 2. So the colored part is called 2 out of 8 or 2 over 8, or in other words, I will write it. Please look at the screen. 2 eighths. 2 eighths. The answer is, I make a fraction line. Now, how many equal parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 equal parts. Okay. How many parts is color? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 3 over 5, or 3 out of 5, or the third way, 3/5. Okay. Now, I want to ask someone here. Who's here with me? Jihad, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell me what fraction is colored?
What?
What fraction is colored of the shape?
4.
For what?
4 is colored.
4 is colored, but this is not a fraction. I want to tell me what fraction is colored. How can you say a fraction?
4 over 6.
4 over 6. Let's count. How many equal parts here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I see 6 equal parts. Jihad, how many is colored?
4.
So 4 over 6, or 4 out of 6, or 4 sixes. Okay? Thank you, Jihad. 1 point. What fraction do you see? Please send me your answers in the chat box. Okay. Hassan, please look carefully. You write it like this: 7 over 2. No, this is not correct. I write it like this. Hassan, how many? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. How many equal parts do you see? Count them. Count all the parts.
7.
Okay. How many is colored?
2.
2. Can you read this fraction? Can you read this fraction, please?
2 sevens.
Excellent. 2/7, or 2 out of 7, or 2 over 7. That's great. Okay. Let me listen to Saga. Saga, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Please, Saga, can you tell me what fraction is colored?
3.
3 is a whole number. I want a fraction. What out of what? What over what?
3 out of 7.
Excellent. 3 out of 7, or 3 over 7, or 3/7. Like this. Half of 6. Okay. What should I do? Look at the fraction. Please look at the fraction. 1 out of 2. There is two numbers, one in the top and one in the bottom. Okay, the top number I call it numerator. I will write it in the board. Numerator. So the top number is called numerator. Okay, the bottom number, it is called denominator. Okay, denominator. So the top number is called numerator and the bottom number is called denominator. Okay, I want to find the half of 6. I look at the denominator. It is what? 2. So I make groups of 2. I make groups of 2. Second, I look at the numerator. It is what? 1. So I will check 1 from every group. The third step is count the checked objects. So 1, 2, 3 happy faces is checked. So half of 6 is 3. Half of 6 is 3. Now, another example. I will solve it for you again so that you can refresh your mind. Okay, I look at the denominator. It is what? 3. So I will make groups of 3. Now I am making groups of 3. I look at the denominator. It is 3. So I make groups of 3. Okay. Now I look at the numerator. It is what? 1. So I should check 1 out of every 3. I should check 1 out of every 3. Okay. So I will check 1 from this group of 3. 1 from out of every 3. 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. Now the third step is counting the checked happy faces. So I checked 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1/3 of 12 is 4. 1/3 of 12 is 4.